are all kinds of games in the world. Some are good, some are bad, and some are just so wonderfully unique they want to grab hold of anyone who listens and tell them, hey, check this out, it's awesome. Last we'll talk to you about Live a Live, and until rather recently, an obscure RPG from Squaresoft. Now, it was never officially released outside of Japan, but thanks to some enterprising people and a beautifully done fan translation, it's amassed a bit of a cult following among English-speaking gamers.
Live a Live was released for the Super Famicom in 1994. It says so right there on the title screen. In any case, it's set in multiple time periods, kinda like Chrono Trigger, but with a neat little twist. Each individual chapter is its own mini RPG. And before you start a chapter, the game thoughtfully gives you a brief summary to make sure you kinda know what to expect. For example, the Stone Age. The day a free-spirited boy and his friend Gory come of age has arrived. And so and such and such. Well, as long as we're on the caveman chapter, let's give it a whirl, shall we? Yes, this is okay. Since this chapter story is simple and only has one written word, I think I'll just step back for a bit and let you enjoy it. In contrast, Pilgrim, we have the Cowboy chapter where we meet a drifter known as the Sundown Kid. As we learn from an exchange that gives Yaoi fans entirely too much to work with, he's being pursued by a bounty hunter by the name of Mad Dog. It seems they have quite a history together. They've been together fighting this fight for a long, long time, and, well, just draw your own conclusions. Yeah. I'm gonna leave that one alone and go to my happy place right about now. Anyway, they have a little showdown or whatever. They've done this many times. Sundown always wins and it always ends the same way. Anywho, Sundown finds his way into the rather uncreatively named Success Town, which is being menaced by the Crazy Bunch. I did not make that up. It is led by a very ugly man calling himself Oh Dio. There's more flirting between Sundown and Mad Dog. Yeah, that's very sweet. They prepare for a duel. They make their paces. They shoot on 5! And they don't shoot at each other. Oh, interesting, yes? Well, in any case, the grateful townspeople urge the two to team up against the Crazy Bunch, which they do. They take on Oh Dio and his gang. They take him down, told you he was ugly, and peace is restored to the town. Oh, and we also learn that Oh Dio was actually a horse possessed by the collective anger and despair of a fallen cavalry. Hey, it's a video game. Not everything is supposed to make perfect sense. Anyway, chances are you can guess how it ends. Ultimately, Sundown learns the value of protecting the weak, and we learn the reason why there was a price on his head, after he rides off into the sunset. Sniffle. But the story wouldn't be complete if the lovers, rivals, didn't meet again, so they fight it out once again. It ends just like it began. Quite a change of pace from the comical caveman chapter in every sense.
All the other sub-stories are just as different from each other. The only thing they seem to have in common is that the final boss is named Odio in some way. Odio, Latin for hatred. I wonder if that's important.
As for the gameplay, if you've ever picked up a JRPG, you already know the basics. Use various menus, items and stuff. Find friendly, helpful teammates. Watch a teenage boy get hit on by a creepy old man in a bar. But unlike most RPGs, this game's battle system uses a grid where both the player and the enemy can move freely, and the techniques available to either depend on where you are. This makes you think strategically about which moves to use, and, well, it can also suck royally when you find yourself accidentally attacking an empty square. And believe me, I know from experience at some point you will. But what really makes this game special is how each chapter plays differently. Like here, in Sundown's chapter, where you have to look around town for stuff and ask people to set up traps. The more traps you set, the easier it is to beat the boss at the end. Or here, in the sci-fi chapter, where you can only survive to the end by avoiding confrontation. You'll also have to avoid doing anything really stupid, like, say, getting sucked out of an airlock. Yeah, that didn't end well. Then there's the, shall we say, controversial ninja chapter. Some players may enjoy it for the sheer variety of self-imposed challenge it offers. As suggested by the intro here, you could take the bloodthirsty approach and go for 100 kills. Or you could take the stealthy route, try not to kill anyone. Or you can go with the choice of impatient players everywhere. Just plow through the stupid thing as fast as humanly possible, only stopping to fight 2 bonus bosses that offer a nice accessory and one of our ninja's best swords in the game. And since your lead character's items carry over to the last stage, you will want that sword in particular. Seriously, compared to the others, this chapter is absurdly long and ridiculously slow. Getting through it takes as long as 2 or 3 of the others combined. And the real kicker is that this chapter has the least amount of plot. So basically, while you're slogging your way through this little slice of heaven, there's not much to break up the tedium besides more tedium. Oh, sure, I know there are people who love this chapter somewhere. Some might even call it their favorite. Chances are they also enjoy performing their own appendectomies or setting themselves on fire.
But I will concede that the Ninja chapter does have some of the game's catchiest music. Kind of like a nice incentive to keep you from gnawing off your own arm before you finish.